You want to calculate A to the future value. The P value is given as 12,000, right? That's the cost of the store. And then N is 2 years. And then I is 0.24. And your R is 24%. Okay? So, since it's simple interest, we use the simple interest formula A equals P times 1 plus I times N. And this is straightforward. So that will be 12,000 times 1 plus I. Now put 0.24 times N, which is 2. What answer do you get?
17,000.
What answer do you get?
1776.
Is it 17,000? 17,000? 700 what? 769. Are there any cents?
No.
Okay, so this is the total amount that the person has to pay in total in 2 years' time. Okay, by the end of 2 years, he has to pay this. Then the second question says, so this is B1, it says if she wants to pay the loan off in monthly payments over the 2-year period, what will her monthly payments be? Okay, so for B, we say monthly payment is going to be equal to the value of A we got in B1, which is 17,760 divided by. Now in 2 years, we have got 2 years times 12 months per year. So in total, there are 24 months. Okay, we want to calculate the monthly payments. So if he or she doesn't have cash, okay, how much is he or she gonna pay a month for those 2 years? That's the amount we want to calculate. Okay, so we divide the value of A we got in B1 by 24 months. What answer do you get? 740. So we get 740 rand. All right. So this person has to pay 740 rand per month for 24 months. Okay. All right. Then, okay, I never asked to do this question, but we will do it now together. Okay. So the question says, whoever invested 500,000 rand in the share market, he managed to secure an average compound interest rate of 14% per annum during the first 2 years. Calculate the value of his investment at the end of the 2-year period. So the value of the investment, it refers to the total amount in that investment account. Okay, so you want to calculate A, it's not given. P is 500,000 rand. That's the amount that he is gonna what? Invest. Then N is 2 years, and the interest rate is compounded per year, so it will be 0.14, which is the same as 14%. Okay? So, which formula are we supposed to use? Now, when you read the question, please make sure you look for simple interest or compound interest, because you may be tempted to use the wrong formula. So if a question talks about compound interest, then you use this formula here, A equals P times 1 plus I raised to the power of N. Are you following that? If the question talks about simple interest, like here, then you must use this formula here. I'm going to keep it. Then you must use that formula. That's for simple interest. You can make a mistake of using the wrong formula in a question. Okay? That's a very common mistake. So here, because of those two words, compound interest, it means the correct formula will be that formula.
Everything we're going to do, it's all going to be depreciated. We're not going to have an appreciation.
This is the appreciation formula. you are in grade 10, we don't talk about depreciation. Okay? In grade 10, we don't talk about depreciation. Depreciation is discussed in grade 11, in grade 12. Okay? Alright, so from here, let's substitute. So, P is 500,000 times 1 plus 0.14 raised to the power of 2. What answer do you get? 649,800. Are there any sense? No. So it means in 2 years' time, the total of the investment is going to be 649,800. Okay, so this person is going to get an interest of how much? What will be the total interest? 249,800. Okay, so that 149,800, he can take it out and maybe use it for other things and keep the 500, and then the money will continue to increase. After every 2 years, you get another 149,000 and so on. Okay, then number 2 says during the next 3 years, okay, during the next 3 years, he managed to secure an average compound interest rate of 12% per annum. What was his investment then worth at the end of the next 3 years? Okay, so here you need to be very careful with the language now, okay, which is a very common thing in financial math. So the first 2 years, the compound, the interest was 14% per annum. Then it says during the next 3 years, so after those 2 years in C1, the next 3 years, okay, he was able to secure an average compound interest rate of 12% per annum. What was his investment then worth at the end of the next 3 years? Okay, so here, please be aware that the value of P, is it still 500,000? Huh? It's no longer 500,000. It's now this amount here, the value of A at the end of the 2 years. Okay, so here, when you calculate now, the formula is still the same, A equals P times 1 plus I raised to the power of N. But our P is now the A we got for the previous 2 years. So this will be 649,800 times 1 plus 0.12 raised to the power of 3. So what's the total? Are you following?
Yes.
What's the total? $912,000?
922.
922 like this.
Yes, and then
How many cents?
21.
Remember, in this financial math, you round up to 2 decimal places. So what would be the answer?
21 cents.
21 cents. Please, I also expect you must have your calculator in front of you so that when I ask you, also do it as well on your own. Okay? You must have your calculator in front of you. Okay? So the total of the investment will be 912,922 cents. Okay, I'm just gonna do. Okay, we don't have too much time. Right now, this question here, I'm going to do. Okay, let me do G. Because G is slightly. Well, no, not G. Let me do E. Okay, I might give you some of these questions as well. Okay, now according to E, it says what amount must be invested now? What amount must be invested now in order to receive 650,000 in 5 years' time? If the compound interest rate is 6%, per annum. So the question will be, what is A and what is P based on the information? Okay, A is the future value, so it's given here, it is 650, right? Sorry, 650,000, right? Okay, so in order to receive 650,000 in 5 years' time means A is 650,000, then P is unknown. Okay, the interest rate is 6% per year, and the number of years is 5 years. You following? So, write our formula, always write the formula, A equal to P times 1 plus I raised to the power of n. Why am I using this formula? What's the clue in the question which is causing me to use this formula? Yes. Compound interest. Okay. So always when you are answering the question, you must check the wording of the question. Is it talking about simple interest or is it talking about compound interest? Because you can be tempted to use the wrong formula. Then from here, we substitute. So A is 650,000, which is equal to P times 1 plus 0.06 raised to the power of what? Of 5. Okay? Now, if you want to calculate P here, I'm sure you can agree with me that you just have to divide both sides by this exponential term. Am I right? You divide by that what? Exponential term. But I can simplify it and write this as 650,000 is equal to P times 1.06 to the power of 5. Okay, then the next thing is just to divide both sides by the exponential term, which means my P will be equal to 650,000 divided by 1.06 to the power of 5. And whatever answer I must get here, it has to be less than 650,000. Okay? It has to be less than 650,000. Use your calculator and tell me that.
485,000.
Huh?
485,000.
185,000.
717.
717.
85.
Are you all getting this?
Yes.
Okay. The value of P must always be less than the value of A. That is only in grade 10. In grade 11, it will change. Sometimes, due to depreciation, the value of A can be less than the value of P. But in grade 10, always, all your questions, P must be less than A. Okay? In grade 10, that's the situation. Okay? This is only true in grade 10. Okay? Alright. I'm going to ask you to do F quickly. It says, how long will it take for an investment of 50,000 rand to increase to 65,000 if the interest rate is 5.5% per annum simple interest? So this is simple interest. Okay, so our P is 50,000 and A is going to be 65,000. Okay, so we are doing F. Okay, then we are doing F. So, you want to do the question? Your A is 65,000, P is 50,000, right? The interest rate 5.5. So that's 0.055. Okay? And we don't know because the question is asking for time. It says how long. So you write your formula first. A equal to P times 1 plus I times N. Then, now I would suggest that you can remove brackets there. So this would be A equal to P plus P times I times N. Then let's substitute. So A is 65,000, E is 50,000 plus 50,000 times 50,000 times 0.55 0.055 times n. Okay? Now, I'm sure you can agree with that. You can take this 50,000 to the left. If you do that, you get 15,000 is equal to, what's 50,000 times 0.55? What is 50,000? Get what? 2750 n. Am I right then? Huh? Then obviously we have to divide both sides. So n is going to be 15,000 divided by 2,750. This should give us 4 years. How many years? 1, 2, 5, close to 5.
5.5. 5.45.
Okay, to put the number places.
5.45.
So it's 5.45 years. Okay? Your knowledge of equation is required when you are doing these questions.